Hello, this is your PMP alter ego. You have not been feeding me my PMP daily logs, and as a result, I sound as flat as can be. Why have you not been feeding me my PMP food? Don't you know I must be hungry and in need of PMBOK?
Gotcha. That's how your PMP alter ego sounds when you don't feed it. Have you been feeding your PMP alter ego this stuff? Hey, it's your friend Phil here, project management trainer and coach. I know lots of you have been binging on barbecue and beer and all sorts of crazy stuff, and you've forgotten all your PMP exam content. It's time to get back, folks. So, welcome to this week's Touchpoint. Just wanted to encourage you, give you some motivation here. I hope your studying has started again. I know some of you have been putting it on the back burner for the past 5 days, haven't you? Those of you in the US, especially. I hope you're doing good and I hope you're feeding your PMP alter ego. Because I see all of you as PMPs. You just got to feed that alter ego and get ready to go into the exam and kill the exam. That's what it's all about. And then you can move on to other bigger and better things in life. So, have you got any questions for me today? Have you got any questions about the PMBOK guide or about the PMP exam? This just in, my 24 CD set, 20 hours of PMP exam content. This is going to be on Amazon shortly. And this is available in MP3 format. So if you learn by audio, you can stay transfixed on the audio. I advise you to get this package. It's going to help you. It even helps me as I get ready for my training. I listen to this stuff and it helps me, you know. The more of this stuff you get into your system, whether it's by the PMBOK guide, whether it's by our study guide, audio, networking, whatever you do, folks, keep yourself in the PMBOK groove 360, okay? I want to encourage you, don't fall off the wagon. Some of you thinking of falling off the wagon, don't fall off the wagon. In fact, right now is a great time to get certified because we don't have tons of people getting certified like it was happening earlier on in the year. Earlier on in the year, we had a ton of people going for PMP. And you know, when you've got so many people going for PMP, my goodness, you got a lot of people failing PMP. You know, the competition becomes more because this thing is based on the Angoff cutoff technique. So the Angoff cutoff technique, as you know, is a sliding scale. You know, the last minute, everyone's bringing their A game. So the stakes are a lot higher, folks. And that's why I tell people now will be the best time to get certified. Huge shout out to Charmaine Williams, who got certified based on my watch. And Charmaine's going to be dropping some gold for us later on this weekend. You don't know how happy I am, how excited I am that you came on the journey and you are done, Charmaine. So huge thumbs up, well done. And this just in, Mr. Corey Tillman. My goodness, what a great surprise. Back from barbecue day, only to find out that you were not napping, you were not snacking, you were attacking. And you killed it. So huge shout out to Corey Tillman for killing the exam. You know I'm going to be hitting you up with lessons learned questions, Corey. Curious to know if all of those earned value and flashcard stuff you were doing, if all that stuff paid off. I'll be curious to know. But anyway, this is our touch point. This is where I would like to know if you've got questions about the PMP exam, about the PMBOK guide, about your studying. Do you have any questions? Hey Deepak, how you doing? A question came in from Deepak. Thank you very much for chatting that in. Do we have agile questions on the PMP exam recently? Well, I've been putting my ear pretty firmly to the ground, Deepak, and I've been listening on all the boards. And to be quite honest with you, from what I've heard, there is a very low agile presence on the exam, if any. In fact, a lot of the folks who end up getting done with the exam say, what was all that about, Phil? It made me go study that Agile practice guide for 3 hours. I didn't even have one Agile question. But on the flip side, I've heard, putting my ear close to the grapevine, some people say, oh, I had one or I had two, or it wasn't that big a deal, nothing that you couldn't figure out, knowing the differences between iterative and fully plan driven and change driven, know all that stuff, it'll do you good. But hey, you know what my approach is to all this stuff? My approach is to leave no stone unturned, Deepak. So even though some people are saying, oh, I didn't have one question, you really cannot base your experience on the exam on what other people have said. I've heard all sorts of things about the exam, and it just varies across the board so widely that it would be very unwise to just put all your eggs in one basket. Oh, Phil said there won't be agile, so I'm not going to read it. No, study the agile stuff. And it's also going to make you a better PM, a more well-rounded PM with the knowledge, about all of this agile. So you probably already know a bit about agile, Deepak, right? Do you know the basics of agile, Deepak? Have you read the Agile Manifesto that I talked about a few weeks ago? Check out the Agile Manifesto. If you haven't, go on the Agile Alliance website. Hey, Deepak, I'm going to show you this stuff again because I really want you to do well. This is my 2 cents. I'm going to show you right here in a second. Anyone getting ready for the PMP exam, I would recommend at a minimum, go to this site, agilealliance.org. The Agile Alliance site is going to give you the basics of Agile. And it's going to help you get up to speed with what exactly all of this Agile buzz is. It will sensitize you to the mindset to be Agile. And in my opinion, that is even more valuable, than just cramming a bunch of terms. Go to this site, okay? And then you've got Agile 101. You could click on that. But I would say, first of all, the Agile Manifesto. This and this. So click on that second item. Make sure you go through it, okay? If you've got any questions about it, you can always feel free to shoot the questions into this channel, right? And then go to the 12 principles behind the Agile Manifesto. Check those out, okay? And then you also want to go to this Agile Practices timeline, which is pretty cool, and it just shows you the timeline for a lot of these things that we read about in the Agile Practice Guide. When did Scrum come on the horizon? When did Jeff start cooking up this Scrum lingo and stuff? All of the leaders of Agile, including my buddy here, who I always mention on the channel, you can take a look at all of their footprints, when Ken came on the horizon and when Jeff and Ken collaborated, all of this stuff, it's all here. This is good reading and good knowledge, good knowledge for you as you're getting into the world of Agile. When you go through all of that stuff, you now want to click on the subway map to Agile practices. This will help you, give you a visual, okay, of lots of the terminology. And the cool thing is you can click on any of these. For example, we click on backlog grooming there. It opens up the definition. I mean, this is pure gold. To me, learning by discovery in this fashion to better understand Agile is priceless, because it's not just reading a book, it's you exploring and finding out things you know and things you don't. If I were you, spend 2 days going through this, and then open up your Agile Practice Guide, read the Agile Practice Guide. If you're one of our students, watch the videos we've provided on Agile, and you should be on your merry way. I think that will really help anyone who is getting ready for the PMP exam and just wants to firm up their understanding. Okay, Deepak, so I wouldn't base all of my assumptions on what people say, even though what people say is helpful. If I got into the PMP exam and I didn't see a lot of Agile or I didn't see any Agile, I wouldn't be mad, taking time out to study it, because it's just making sure I've got my bases covered. With the PMP exam, You never can tell. I've heard everything from, Phil, why did you waste hours of my life studying earned value? I didn't have one question. And then I've heard on the flip side, Phil, you should have told me that I would have gotten 20 questions that weren't formulas. I'm like, 20 questions? How was I to know that? That's an anomaly. But I've had students that come out of the woodworks and say all sorts of things I never even imagined, you know. So when you think you've gotten a handle on the PMI, in terms of what they could do, they spring a surprise on your exam. You don't know if you're going to be the next person who gets, I don't know, 30 formula questions. Or maybe you're saying, bring it on, bring it on. That's what I've studied. I'm ready for formulas. Some people hate formulas. Other people love formulas. Those that love formulas don't get formulas. Those that hate formulas, you almost think that they use targeting to like slot these questions in. But they don't. You know, you get the odd student who is battle ready for formulas, and formulas come and they crush the formulas and get 5 above targets. So my summary, Deepak, cover your bases, because you just never know from which angle the PMI is going to come. You know, PMI, they got a boatload of questions, situational questions to ask you. And I'll just say, do everything you can to cover all of that in sufficient detail, Deepak. All right? I hope that helped. Monique, how you doing? How's your studying? Did you get your study guide? So I'm studying daily, but I'm not rushing through the content because I want to read everything. Is this okay, or should I be more ahead? Monique, you know, as a rule of thumb, I would say make sure you understand what you are studying before moving on. You know, there's no point in you saying, "Oh, I'm done with the PMBOK guide in 3 days," and then I ask you, "Where's the issue log from? Where's the change log from? Where's DFX used?" You're like, "Phil, I don't know." Well, it means that we need to go back to the drawing board and iron out all those crinkles. You know what I mean? So ask yourself questions, or ask your, I don't know, your friends, your colleagues, family. Hey, family is always a good one. Just give them the book and let them quiz you on the high level, the very high level ITTOs, you know. Maybe they quiz you, tell me what are the ITTOs to this process, and explain what they are. And all it takes is one family member to rattle your chain a little bit, then you realize, oh my goodness, I don't know this stuff. It's happened to me, you know, that those are your stakeholders. So Monique, I would say at a minimum, get tested, right? After you go through the learning system. I know you've got the book. I hope you're enjoying it. Go through the book, all that stuff. And then ask anyone around you, friends, family, to quiz you on high level, and just speak to them, even though they don't understand the PMBOK guide. Just say, hey, quiz me, you know, and they'll quiz you on the ITTOs, and you'll truly know, you'll feel confident if you know it. And if you don't know it, they're going to see right through you and challenge you. Even kids, you know, there's a student of mine out of Canada, and every morning he would be driving around with one of these, you know, and his kids will say, oh, it's that your friend again, that your friend Phil again. It got to the point his kids knew the ITTOs better than him, and they would quiz him and they'd laugh at him if he got them wrong. Get family involved and try to explain, you know, what you've studied. If you can explain it, it's a good sign that you've understood it. You know, understanding will be exemplified when you can explain it, when you can discuss it, when you can go for 5 minutes without having to look at the book to talk about the particular ITTO, and when you're right on the money. So Monique, my answer to you is, you know, first of all, well done. Thank you for coming on in the first place. But, you know, you're doing the right thing. Slow and steady wins the race. One last point, though, is don't run out of motivational gas. That is just one of my concerns with some students. They run out of motivational gas. If they push it off for too long, by month 3, you know, they put it down. For example, there's a student of ours, and we were just talking about this student at Praizion this afternoon. Where's he gone? He was hot and heavy in the beginning, but my goodness, he's run out of gas? Or is he using the wrong calibration of gas for his vehicle? Where did he vanish to? The guy just vanished. And this is someone who we would hear from almost every week. He is nowhere to be found. So I don't want that to happen, Monique. I want you to, have a full tank of gas and just gauge yourself, stay motivated, stay in the zone. And that's what these calls are for, really, to keep people motivated and in the zone and going. You said, I am still in your course, your prep course. I would like to extend it to continue taking your quizzes. Absolutely, Monique. We'll talk about that. And yeah, just shoot an email when it's coming closer to the time when you need to renew. We'll do that for you. And the good news is the second month is not exactly the same as the first month in terms of the price. So yeah, we'll keep you on, and we'll keep on this journey, and we'll keep hitting it hard until you're done. Absolutely. So folks, I want to say a huge thank you to you for coming on tonight. Again, if you're a great auditory learner, you want to get this. You want to get this in your arsenal. 20 hours of phenomenal audio. And this is me along with Emily, my co-trainer, Emily Berry, MBA, PMP, CAPM, and along with Peter Baker, phenomenal guy who is also on this. And we got a few more folks. It's really a full house on this CD set. We've got full people who are fully into acting out dramas about project management. We've got something I call my gag bag, where I'm giving you some, little stress relief with a few jokes here and there. We've got some music coming in at different points, and we've got Emily breaking it down, giving you little snippets of the PMBOK guide, and you've got a more longer and elaborate discussion about what the different processes are in detail. I mean, some of these processes took me over 30 minutes to talk about. I'm not talking about a knowledge area. Did you get that? One process taken up to 30 minutes. One actually took 40 minutes to talk about. That's how detailed. You know me, I don't play games, folks. When it comes to the PMBOK guide, I'm going to dissect it. I'm going to put it in that chokehold. Going to make it cry uncle and spit out what it's got in it, because, it's so vast. It's huge. It's a huge book. So I can't afford to tell you, I'm going to cover a knowledge area in an hour. That wouldn't be good enough. Covering a knowledge area in an hour just to make the CDs quick is no good. So I didn't do justice. Even I am a student of this thing. I'm going back to listen to what was taught and what was said. I'm learning from Emily, I'm learning from myself, and I'm going through the motions of the PMBOK guide, listening to the drama. You see, there's a drama piece for every knowledge area, and we've got dramas for the 5 process groups also across. So if you go to Praizion.com and you just scroll down the training link, you'll be able to get one of these. So it has been a long time coming, and this product is actually going to 10 years old, to be honest. I think 2008 was when the first audio digest was released. So we had one on the 4th edition, 5th edition. I think we had one on the 3rd edition. 3rd, 4th, 5th. I think the 4th of the versions of the audio digest has come out, and it's just gotten better and better and better. So if you are an auditory learner, you're able to learn by audio, you're able to zone in to where I'm going, you want to get yourself one of these, okay? 24 CDs. And, let's actually open it up and see what's in it. Let's open up this copy and, just take a look at what's in it. So my CD development team sent this over. I've got the MP3 version. So let's take a look at what's in the box. 24. Never before has it ever been 24 CDs. It's usually been, it was, I believe the first time was 12, because there used to be 12 knowledge areas. And then it became, I think, 12 for the 4th edition as well. And then for the 5th edition, when they brought in Stakeholder, it just went crazy, And then we ended up having 18 CDs, and now it's crazier. There are now 49 processes, so hey, we now have 24 CDs in this thing. All right, let's open it up. And there you go. 24 CDs. So if you're the kind of person that learns by audio, highly advise it. You know, one of the CDs we've got here is actually PM flashcards, nothing but flashcards, asking you questions on audio about the core outputs. And then the other CDs, they cover the code of ethics and all of the knowledge areas. You know, it's really cool. Those of you who are PMPs, I would also advise this for you, because a lot of people get certified and they don't keep refreshed with what is in the PMBOK guide. You know, they don't really know what the 6th edition is all about. So I would advise, if you're one of those folks and you know you want to keep up to speed with what's in the PMBOK guide, why not get one of these? You know, this is also great for your PDUs. And if you go through your PMP handbook about how to get your PDUs, you'd be able to appropriate this for some PDU earnings, you know, as long as you're listening to them, taking records. Of course, the objectives are mapping directly back to the knowledge areas in chapter 1, 2, and 3. So it's pretty much a cakewalk as far as getting some PDUs from that. So if you're a PMP and you know you want an easy way of being refreshed without sticking your head into a 35-hour course all over again, you can listen to these on the go. Just keep records, make sure you listen to all of them. Like I said, playtime is 20 hours plus. That's crazy, 20 hours. So this will be a good run for your time and money if you're PMP trying to keep up, you know, with those PDUs and, you know, keep your 60 every 3 years. Highly advise it. All right, any other questions? Because in the absence of questions, I got something else to talk about for some of our alumni. So I'll be doing that in the next few minutes. But let me just say a huge shout out one more time to Charmaine and to Corey. Appreciate you guys. Doff my hat to you and my other PMPs who have gotten certified over the past number of months. Most recently, also Lindsay and Nick. You guys dropped some major gold for our folks. I appreciate you in doing that. And I wish you all the best. Have a great week. I know it's back to work and back to the daily, you know what I'm talking about, all of that daily stress and pushing to get your projects out of the door. I know it's back to all of that stuff, but please do not forget, you've got a commitment to getting this thing off your back once and for all. It really feels good once this thing is off your back. So don't stop. As usual, if any questions come up, please shoot me those questions and I'll be more than happy to get you answers. Thank you very much and have a lovely rest of your week. Bye for now.